Minnesota Vikings fans know all too well that finding a franchise quarterback is the hardest task in professional sports, especially when trying to rebound from a frustrating 9-win season. The front office made a massive gamble this offseason by bringing in a former #1 overall draft pick who is desperately searching for his own football redemption. This highly talented playmaker has faced relentless criticism, devastating injuries, and an unceremonious departure from his previous team. But his arrival in the Twin Cities has ignited a brand new sense of hope that the purple and gold can finally conquer the NFC North title. That quarterback is none other than Kyler Murray, and his arrival in Minnesota has immediately transformed the energy surrounding the Vikings' entire offseason program as he looks to answer the organization's long-standing quarterback quandary. Murray, who entered the league as a highly touted #1 overall draft pick back in 2019, is bringing a legitimate Pro Bowl pedigree to a franchise that desperately needs a dynamic dual-threat playmaker to spark their offensive unit. While it has been several seasons since he last earned a Pro Bowl nod, the talent that made him an elite collegiate prospect and an early NFL star remains undeniable, and he is driven by a deep personal motivation to regain that stellar form under the guidance of Minnesota's coaching staff. The Vikings are coming off a grueling 9-win season in 2025 that was defined by inconsistency and a lack of stability at the most critical position on the field, making Murray's presence a potential game-changer for a roster that already boasts incredible skill position talent. This move represents a massive opportunity for both the player and the franchise, as Murray is actively seeking a career redemption arc after his tenure with the Arizona Cardinals ended in a rather unceremonious and frustrating fashion. If he can channel the raw physical gifts that once made him one of the most electric players in the entire league, the Vikings could find themselves rapidly climbing back to the top of the division standings and making a deep postseason run that fans have been waiting for. This is why the coaching staff is committed to giving him every single resource needed to succeed. If this high-stakes gamble pays off, the entire landscape of the conference shifts in their favor. It is a monumental opportunity for a franchise hungry to return to sustained greatness. To truly appreciate why this opportunity is so vital for Kyler Murray, one must examine the turbulent journey he endured during his final years in the desert, which were characterized by a series of devastating physical setbacks and mounting frustration. Over the past 4 seasons, Murray has constantly battled the injury bug, missing multiple games in 3 of those campaigns and struggling to find the consistent rhythm that is so crucial for any starting quarterback in today's NFL. Even when he managed to play in all 17 regular season contests back in 2024, the Cardinals finished with a disappointing 8-9 record, demonstrating that his individual brilliance was not enough to overcome a struggling roster. The situation reached a boiling point during the 2025 campaign when the Arizona coaching staff and front office decided to shut him down for the remainder of the season, despite Murray's intense personal efforts to return to the gridiron and help his struggling team. Following that disappointing conclusion, the Cardinals made attempts to trade the former Oklahoma Sooners standout during the offseason. But when those efforts yielded no viable partners, they ultimately decided to waive him entirely. This shocking move allowed the Vikings to swoop in and sign him during the free agency period, setting up a fascinating narrative of a once-elite quarterback playing with a massive chip on his shoulder. Murray, who will turn 29 years old this August, showed flashes of his incredible potential in 2025 by throwing for 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions on a 68.3% completion rate in just 5 games. But it is his spectacular 2024 campaign, where he recorded a line of 3,851 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, that truly showcases what he is capable of achieving when he is healthy. Now fully healthy and deeply integrated into the Minnesota Vikings offseason program, Kyler Murray is sending a clear, defiant message to the rest of the league that he is completely dialed in and ready to dominate. He recently took to Instagram to share a series of images showcasing his grueling weight room sessions and intense on-field drills, sporting his new purple and gold helmet and practice gear alongside his new teammates. The caption of his post read, "They say a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor," which is a highly telling quote that perfectly captures the resilient mindset of a veteran quarterback who has weathered the storm of public criticism and physical adversity. For a paper-tough, mature 45-plus fan base that respects hard work, grit, and the determination to overcome obstacles, this message resonates deeply because it shows a player who is not looking for excuses, but is instead embracing the struggle of rebuilding his career from the ground up. Murray's focus on physical conditioning and mental preparation during workouts is exactly what the Vikings coaching staff wanted to see, signaling that he is taking his leadership role seriously and is committed to mastering the complex offensive system. By establishing a relentless work ethic early in the summer, Murray is setting a high standard for the rest of the locker room, proving that his arrival in Minnesota is not just a temporary stopover, but rather a dedicated mission to restore his status as one of the premier quarterbacks in football. One of the most exciting aspects of Kyler Murray's arrival in Minnesota is the immediate connection he is building with young wide receiver Jordan Addison, a dynamic duo that could ultimately hold the key to unlocking the full potential of this explosive Vikings offense. While stars like Justin Jefferson will always command the bulk of the defensive attention and media spotlight, the chemistry between Murray and Addison during these off-season workouts could be the secret ingredient that keeps coordinators awake at night. Much like his new quarterback, Addison is coming off a somewhat disappointing season from a statistical standpoint, and his young NFL career has already experienced its share of off-field legal distractions that have raised questions about his long-term future with the organization. Despite these challenges, the Vikings still believe in his immense talent, as evidenced by deciding to pick up his fifth-year option to secure his services through the 2027 season. But Addison is still playing with intense urgency as he seeks a lucrative long-term contract extension. He is currently playing on an affordable rookie contract, meaning a breakout season alongside a motivated quarterback like Murray could dramatically increase his future earning potential in a rapidly expanding wide receiver market. By spending their offseason working together on critical timing routes, deep balls, and chemistry, Murray and Addison are building a mutual trust that will pay massive dividends when the real games begin, creating a balanced offensive attack that is incredibly difficult for even the best defenses to contain. From a historical and analytical perspective, the Vikings' acquisition of Kyler Murray is a calculated gamble that could yield an incredibly high return on investment, especially when you look at the rare statistical production he has put up since entering the league. Despite his well-documented struggles with injuries, Murray is currently tied for the third most seasons with at least 3,700 passing yards since 2019, putting him in elite company alongside legendary players like Tom Brady and productive veterans like Derek Carr. To put that in perspective for Vikings fans, former Minnesota quarterback Kirk Cousins, who spent 8 highly productive seasons with the franchise before departing for the Atlanta Falcons in 2024, only accomplished that statistical feat 3 times during that same span. If Murray can stay healthy, he offers a level of explosive playmaking and passing consistency that the Vikings have not seen in years. And his current projected market value of a 2-year, $30.3 million contract represents an absolute bargain for a starting quarterback with his ceiling. Thanks to some savvy front office maneuvers, the Vikings have successfully navigated their previous salary cap difficulties, positioning themselves with ample financial flexibility to potentially reward both Murray and Addison with long-term deals next offseason if this partnership proves successful. Ultimately, this season is about building a sustainable winning culture in Minnesota. And with Kyler Murray leading the charge with a renewed focus and a championship mindset, the Vikings are primed to shock the football world. The stage is completely set for an unforgettable campaign in the Twin Cities, and the loyal fan base has every single reason to believe that the upcoming gridiron battles will restore this iconic franchise to its rightful place among the league's elite contenders, writing an incredible new chapter in the team's storied football history. Now, we want to hear from you, the heart and soul of the Minnesota faithful. How do you honestly feel about Kyler Murray taking the reins of this offense? And do you believe his partnership with Jordan Addison can successfully propel this team back into deep postseason contention? Share your analytical breakdowns and realistic expectations in the comments below, because we want to know if you think this gamble is the masterstroke that finally delivers a championship trophy to the Twin Cities. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay completely updated with the most objective, hard-hitting Minnesota football analysis on the internet, make sure to immediately hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Your amazing and continuous support is what keeps us going, and we are incredibly proud to bring you this dedicated coverage as we prepare for what promises to be one of the most exciting and critical seasons in franchise history. Thank you for tuning in. Keep wearing the purple and gold with pride during this exciting offseason journey, and we will definitely see you next time right here for more exclusive coverage. Skol!